When I first moved into my new house, I was so excited I couldn't even explain it. It was my first place all on my own. No roommates, no parents, no siblings, just me and my space. It wasn't a mansion or anything, but it was perfect. A cozy little one-story with a small backyard and a porch I could sit on when the weather was nice. I kept telling myself, this is it. This is where I'll finally feel like I'm really living. The first week was amazing. I unpacked everything, got all my furniture in place, and even decorated a bit. I was proud of how it all came together. My bed was in the corner of my room facing the door. It felt perfect to have it there, with the little nightstand beside it and the window nearby. I'd sleep with the window cracked open just enough to let in a little breeze. Everything was so peaceful. But then, a week after moving in, everything changed. That night started off like any other. I watched a movie in the living room, ate some leftover pizza, and eventually dragged myself to bed around midnight. I felt relaxed, happy even, as I crawled under my blanket and laid there for a bit, scrolling through my phone. I fell asleep pretty quickly too, which wasn't like me. Normally I'd toss and turn for a while, but not that night. It must have been around 3 a.m. when I woke up. At first, I didn't know why. You know that groggy feeling when you wake up and nothing feels real? It was like that. I just lay there, blinking up at the ceiling, trying to figure out what had pulled me out of my sleep. That's when I felt it. Something was tugging on my blanket, not hard, just a little pull, like someone trying to get my attention without waking me. I froze, my heart beating faster than I ever thought it could. My first thought was, did I leave the window open? Maybe the wind blew it, but no, I remembered shutting it before bed. The tug came again, a little harder this time. My brain started racing. Could it be the AC? No, that's on the other side of the room. Maybe I moved in my sleep and caused it, but then it happened a third time. This time it wasn't just a tug. It was like someone was trying to pull the blanket off me entirely. My body went cold. I couldn't move for a second, like I was paralyzed. Finally, I forced myself to sit up, and I looked down at the foot of my bed, and I swear to you, I saw it. There was a head peeking out from the side of my bed. It was there for just a second, just long enough for me to see it before it ducked down and disappeared. I couldn't make out much in the dark, but I know what I saw. It wasn't my imagination. The head was pale, almost gray, with dark, sunken eyes that seemed to be looking right at me. The hair was thin and messy, sticking up in all directions. And the way it moved when it disappeared so fast, like it was yanked back by something, made my stomach twist into knots. I sat there, frozen, staring at the spot where it had been. I wanted to believe it was just a trick of the light or my mind playing games with me, but it felt so real. Too real. For a few minutes, I didn't do anything. I just sat there, holding my blanket up to my chest like it was some kind of shield. My brain kept going in circles. What was that? Who was that? Finally, I worked up the courage to lean over and look down at the side of the bed. My hand was shaking as I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. I pointed it down and nothing. There was nothing there. No head, no person, nothing. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't even want to get out of bed to check the rest of the house. What if whatever it was waiting for me? I sat there for the rest of the night, wide awake, clutching my phone and my blanket like they were my lifelines. I kept telling myself it was nothing. You were dreaming, it's all in your head. But deep down, I didn't believe that. The next morning, I tried to forget about it. I told myself it was just a nightmare or some kind of half-asleep hallucination. That stuff happens, right? People see weird things when they're in that space between sleeping and waking. That had to be it. But even as I tried to convince myself, I couldn't ignore the way the blanket had been pulled to the floor, or how real that head had looked. I spent the day trying to keep busy, cleaning the house and unpacking the last few boxes. But every time I walked past my bedroom, I felt this weird heaviness, like the air in there was thicker somehow. I didn't even want to go in. That night, I decided to sleep on the couch in the living room. It wasn't as comfortable as my bed, but I felt safer out there. I left all the lights on and even kept the TV going in the background just to have some noise. I didn't sleep much. Every little sound made me jump. The creak of the floorboards, the hum of the fridge, even the wind outside. It all felt like something was lurking, waiting. The next few nights were the same. I couldn't bring myself to sleep in my bedroom. I'd go in during the day to grab clothes or whatever I needed, but as soon as the sun started setting, I'd avoid it like the plague. Then one night I finally convinced myself to go back in. I told myself I was being ridiculous. It was just a weird dream or a hallucination. Nothing was actually there. So I climbed into bed, pulled the blanket up to my chin, and closed my eyes. I don't know how long I was asleep before I woke up again. This time, it wasn't the blanket being pulled. It was a sound, a soft, scratching noise coming from under the bed. My heart sank. I lay there, not moving, barely breathing, just listening. The scratching kept going, slow and steady, like something was trying to claw its way out. I wanted to get up, to run out of the room, but I couldn't. It was like my body wouldn't listen to me. Then the scratching stopped. For a second, I thought maybe it was over. Maybe whatever it was had gone away. But then, I felt it. The mattress shifted just slightly, like someone or something was crawling onto the bed. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. My throat felt like it was glued shut. I didn't know what to do. All I could do was lay there, staring up at the ceiling, praying it would go away. And then, I felt it. A hand, cold and bony, grabbing the edge of the blanket. It didn't pull this time. It just held on like it was waiting for something. I don't know how I did it, but somehow I found the strength to move. I yanked the blanket away and rolled off the bed, hitting the floor hard. I scrambled to my feet and bolted out of the room, slamming the door behind me. I didn't stop running until I was outside, standing in the middle of my yard, gasping for air. That was the last night I slept in that house. I don't know what I saw or what was under the bed, but I know it wasn't just my imagination. Whatever it was real. I ended up staying with my parents for a bit. I couldn't stay there, not after that. Even now, I can't help but wonder, what would have happened if I hadn't woken up that first night? And what would have happened if I'd stayed in bed that last time? I don't think my heart can take it. That's it for now. I hope you enjoy these stories. If you did, check out more of my videos on the screen above or visit my channel for even more. Don't forget to subscribe for future updates. Stay safe and take care.